Welcome to episode 323 of the show. Do you have particular ideas about how to grow your business? If you do, just like I do, then it's a good idea to talk about that with your friends routinely and other people that you hang about in entrepreneur circles and WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups and what have you. You know how we self-employed people pass the time. Now, the reason why I'm recommending this is because if you have good friends, eventually they're going to let you know when interesting things come up on the horizon. And that is when things confirm your thesis or contradict your thesis. For instance, I think that sales and personal selling is a really good way to grow our business and is going to serve as one of those foundational elements for how we can develop ourselves personally, and also it'll also impact other areas in our business. And so because I talk about these things routinely, I talk about these things a lot, and I try to spread these ideas not just on the podcast, but when I'm talking to my friends and then the different groups that I'm involved in. People, whenever they find things that contradict this or they find things that confirm this, they always reach out and they share the material with me. So talking about your ideas and spreading your ideas, it helps your knowledge to grow because there's a feedback process that is involved in all of this. You know, people reaching out to say, "Oh, this is totally cool. This is what I found. Yes, this is how it works in my life." Or some people who are going to say, "This is total BS, and this is the reason why I think so." So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because a friend of mine who knows my attitudes about sales and growing a business sent me an article titled "Photography Doesn't Actually Pay Your Bills. Sales Does." Now, I'll repeat, the title of the podcast, sorry, not the podcast, the article was "Photography Doesn't Actually Pay Your Bills. Sales Does." I can't remember the author of the article, but if you just use the Google machine, you should be able to find that and then read it in full. And yes, it is something that I do intend to discuss in future over here on the podcast, and also to show how it relates to other businesses as well, and not just people in the wedding and the event space. And actually, some of the stuff that we discussed on the soon-to-be released episode on the Abeg Who Sent Me podcast with the host Titi. That's the one that I told you guys about either yesterday or the day before, that we recorded over the weekend. Okay, well, we're still in the weekend. Oh, yeah, so that was yesterday. Today is Sunday. And so we had the recording yesterday on a Saturday, and that should be ready in about 3 weeks or so. And when it's available, I'm going to just take the audio and also put here on the podcast so you guys can hear the interview and then also learn some more about the Abeg Who Sent Me podcast, which is directed towards, business and entrepreneurial stuff. So you guys can go over there and subscribe as well and find all the useful resources that are coming up in the space, so you don't have to get bogged down listening to only gist podcast, which is gist and political podcast, which is what seems to be reigning right now in Niger. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that I discussed with the host Titi of Abeg Who Sent Me podcast, you know, looking at the whole thing about how technical skills is not what pays the bills. So your photography skills, your cake baking skills, how good you are with servicing inverter batteries or hooking up solar panels, that's not what actually pays your bills. It is your sales that actually pays the bills. Going out, talking to people, marketing, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not trying to say that technical skills are not important, because in wedding and event circles, when I start going on about how technical skills are not necessarily what brings in the cheddar, that's the feedback that I get, that people are saying, basically people are just saying, okay, so what are you saying? Should we all be terrible wedding planners, or should we all be crappy wedding photographers? And no, that's not the case. Technical skills are important in the sense that they are entry stakes, especially now that we have the internet and free and cheap resources about improving technical skills. So before the advent of the internet, let's say photography, for instance, you actually had to go to school or maybe intern with someone, do some sort of apprenticeship. But now you can actually watch YouTube videos, There are lots of tutorials online. And then since the internet has also democratized access to tools, you don't have to live abroad anymore to get advanced lighting skills. So you can order stuff or you can find them easily if you live in Lagos, Abuja, and also the bustling cities of the East. And what I'm just trying to say is that technical skills, access to technical skills, technical ideas, technical equipment nowadays is the easy stuff. It's the same if you're a baker. Before, you had to have a cousin or a sister who is in the UK, and then you tell her that this is the oven I want you to order, this is the mixer I need you to order. But now you can order that easily on Amazon, get it delivered to your office over here in Nigeria. Let's see what else. Or you can find easy alternatives, more affordable alternatives. You're going to use Alibaba. Alibaba can deliver straight to your house, straight to your street. What else? Or you can find them in the market. Well, maybe not the regular market, but I'm just saying that access to these things have never been easier. So the distinguishing factor now is not going to be technical skills anymore, because any wedding photographer out there, chances are lighting skills, compositional skills, framing skills, what else? Photography skills are going to be negligible, at least coming from the perspective of the customer. The customer can't tell my skills apart from your skills, photography-wise. And they also can't tell your solar panels apart from the other person's solar panels, if you're in the alternative energy space. So technical skills, technical ability, technical stuff nowadays, that is just entry stakes. That is what gets your foot into the door. So assume that everyone is as good as you are when it comes to installing solar panels, or when it comes to getting supplies of the best stuff from, Egypt or China, or wherever you buy them from. And also assume that everybody is also going to be a, competent photographer or wedding planner. So technical skills are entry stakes, and so your sales skills are what's going to make the difference. Anyway, that's not the diatribe that I was supposed to be on today, because the main thing I wanted to talk about was, whenever you have all these ideas about how to grow your business, if you're one of these people who believe in the discipline and the art of sales and personal selling, talk about these ideas to your friends and people in your ecosystem, because iron sharpens iron. And if you have good friends like I do, and you guys click on all these things, they're always going to share useful resources with you. So that's my tip for the day, that whenever you latch on to a gospel about how to move the ministry forward, make sure you talk to your friends about it, because there's a feedback loop that is built into all our interactions, and the good people are going to reach out to say, oh boy, stop wasting your time, this thing doesn't work, and this is the reason why, have a look at these resources. And some people are going to say, oh, this thing saved my life, I agree with you, and these are some other sources. And either way, it's a good way for you to learn and to grow and to improve your business and to improve yourself as a person. And so that's it for today. I'd like to say thank you very much for listening to episode 322 of the Sales for the Nigerian Wedding Industry podcast. I'll catch you guys again at the next recording. Until then, I'm your host, Abuja-based sales consultant and event media professional, Tabishima Ayede. Remember to share the podcast and to subscribe if you like what you've heard. Let people know about the good stuff that we talk about over here. And let's see, what else? For those of you who don't believe my boast about this is Nigeria's longest running business podcast, if you don't agree with that, all you have to do is look for one that has been on longer. Remember, it has to be a business podcast. So don't tell me about iSwiss, because I really love iSwiss, but that's more just oriented. So it has to be a business podcast, and please let me know so that I can stop boasting, and most importantly, so that I can share that with everybody over here, so that other people can get to hear about the other wonderful podcasts that are out there, because the more the merrier. Iron sharpens iron. So if you're looking about more stuff in the sales and marketing space and business and personal development, you don't have to only listen to Sales for the Nigerian Wedding Industry or the Abeg Who Send Me podcast, which my episode is going to be published soon. So you don't necessarily have to be limited to those options. So if there's more good stuff out there, holla at your boy, let me know, and I'll catch you guys at the next recording.